Hi, my name is Alina. That I still remember the first day I saw Eric. It was the second week of university. I was standing in line at the campus cafe, trying to decide between a caramel latte and plain black coffee, when I looked up and saw him. He wasn't like the other guys in class. He had this quiet confidence, a way of carrying himself that made him stand out without even trying. His dark hair was always a little messy, and he wore simple clothes, but there was something about his eyes. They looked thoughtful, like he was always somewhere far away, lost in his own world. I didn't talk to him that day. I just watched him take his coffee and walk away. But that moment stuck with me. And from that day on, I began noticing him everywhere, in lectures, in the library, even on the path behind the science building where students like to sit and read. At first, I told myself it was just a silly crush. I mean, who didn't have a crush in college? But the more I watched him, the more I wanted to know about him. He was smart, always asking good questions in class. He wasn't loud or showy. He just seemed real. I tried to find reasons to talk to him. I borrowed a book I saw him reading. I sat closer to him in class. One time, I even dropped my pen near his desk, hoping he'd pick it up and we'd talk. But nothing ever happened. He barely looked at me. Weeks passed, and I started feeling invisible. I wondered what was wrong with me. I wasn't the most popular girl on campus, but I was friendly. I had friends, I got good grades. Why couldn't he see me? I finally got the courage to speak to him one afternoon after class. He was sitting alone on a bench, typing something on his laptop. I walked up to him and asked about the assignment. He looked up, smiled politely, and gave me a short answer. Then he looked back at his screen. That smile, kind, but distant, stayed with me all day. He wasn't rude. He just wasn't interested. I should have let it go. That's what my friend Mia kept telling me. She said I was wasting my time. She said I deserved someone who noticed me without me trying so hard. But I couldn't help it. There was something in my heart that kept pulling me toward him. I began writing in my journal every night, pages and pages about him. I imagined conversations we never had, walks we never took, secrets we never shared. It sounds silly now, but at the time, it was my way of holding on to something I couldn't explain. Sometimes I thought maybe I was in love with the idea of him, not the real him. But then I'd hear him speak in class, or see him helping someone, and I'd know it was real. I wasn't imagining it. He was good. He was everything I wanted. Then one day, I saw him walking across campus with another girl. She was laughing at something he said, and he was smiling in a way I had never seen before. A real smile. Not the polite one he gave me. My chest hurt like someone had kicked me. That was when I knew. He liked someone else. I went home that night and cried into my pillow. I felt stupid, like I had built this world in my head, and it had all come crashing down. I wanted to forget him. I wanted to move on. But my heart wasn't ready. Over the next few weeks, I avoided him. I sat in the back of the class. I stopped going to the cafe. I deleted the photos I had secretly taken of him at campus events. I thought I was healing. But healing wasn't easy. I'd still see him from far away, and all the old feelings would come back. I'd still dream about him sometimes. And every time I opened my journal, I'd see his name written on every page. I didn't know if I'd ever stop loving him. But I knew I had to keep living. I started spending more time with friends, joining study groups, focusing on my art again. Little by little, the days got easier. I never told Eric how I felt. Maybe that was for the best. Maybe he was just meant to be a chapter in my story, not the whole book. But even now, sometimes, when the campus is quiet and the light hits a certain way, I think of him. And I smile, not because it ended the way I wanted, but because for a while, he made my world feel beautiful. At first, I didn't know if Eric was just being kind or if something was really changing. After our first real conversation, I tried to keep my hopes down. I reminded myself not to read too much into small things. A smile, a question, a "see you later," those didn't always mean feelings were growing. But no matter how hard I tried to stay calm, a part of me began to hope again. We started seeing each other more often. Not planned meetings, just quiet, random moments. In the library, in the coffee shop near campus, walking out of class. And every time, our conversations got a little bit longer, a little more personal. He started asking me about my family, my hobbies, what I liked to do when I wasn't studying. He remembered small things I had said weeks ago. That surprised me. One day, he saw me painting under a tree near the art building. I was too focused to notice him at first, but when I looked up, he was standing there, watching with a curious smile. He asked if he could sit. I nodded. He didn't say much at first, just watched me work. Then he said my painting made him feel something peaceful. No one had ever said that to me before. That moment stayed with me. Weeks passed. Then months. Little by little, Eric became a bigger part of my life. He would text me sometimes, never too much, just a message now and then. He would send photos of something that reminded him of a conversation we had, or a song he thought I'd like. Once, I got sick during exam season. I didn't tell many people, but somehow, he found out. He showed up at my dorm with soup and orange juice. I was shocked. I asked him why he did that. He just smiled and said, "You looked like you needed a break." I could feel it. Something was changing. But still, he didn't say anything clearly. He never said he liked me. I tried to be patient. I didn't want to rush anything. He wasn't the type to fall quickly. I had known that from the beginning. Then one evening, it all changed. We had gone to a music event together on campus. It was late autumn, and the air was cool and quiet as we walked back. Leaves crunched under our shoes. The campus was empty. He suddenly stopped walking and looked at me with that serious, thoughtful expression I had seen before when he was deep in thought. He told me he had always noticed me, even when he didn't say much. He said he admired how quiet and calm I was, how I didn't try to get attention like others did. He said he had been scared of feeling something real, scared of changing. But over time, he couldn't stop thinking about me. My words, my smile, my way of seeing the world. He told me I made him feel safe and seen. I didn't say anything for a few seconds. I just looked at him, heart pounding. Then I smiled. I didn't need to say much. He knew. After that, we became closer. Not just as friends, but as something more. We took slow steps. We went on real dates. We studied together. We traveled during semester breaks. We learned about each other's families. There were arguments, of course. There were small fights. But through everything, we kept choosing each other. 3 years later, during a trip to the mountains, he proposed. It wasn't anything fancy. No music, no big crowd, no surprises. Just us, on a quiet hilltop, with the wind in our hair and the sun going down. He held my hand and asked if I'd stay with him, not just for now, but forever. I said yes. Our wedding was simple. Close friends, family, and lots of laughter. I painted small cards for each guest. Eric played a short piano piece during the reception. It wasn't perfect. The lights flickered once, and someone dropped a cake slice, but it was beautiful. Now, when I look back, I see how slowly things grew between us. How something that started as silence turned into a lifetime. It wasn't a love story full of drama or sudden moments. It was a slow burn. A quiet wave. A soft song played over time. But it was real. It was strong. And it was worth the wait.